Hello and welcome to Health Professional Radio. Thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Neal Howard, and I'm going to be talking with Laura Alley. She's a registered dietitian and the manager of nutrition and regulatory affairs for the StarKist Company. And she's joining us today as a returning guest to discuss regulatory and nutrition labeling initiatives. Thanks for returning with us, Laura.
Thanks for having me.
Right. Now, you're a registered dietitian and manager, as I said, of the nutrition and regulatory affairs for StarKist Company. How long have you been with StarKist?
I've been with StarKist for about 8 years.
Okay. And as a registered dietitian, do you have a staff of folks under you that are doing research and maybe taste testing or things of that nature as the manager of that department?
Yeah, I do have a small staff that helps out with our regulatory group and our some of our recipe development, and then just the StarKist team in general is always helpful in coming up with new ideas.
You know, when you're coming up with these new ideas, as someone not involved, I envision, this brainstorming session with people talking about this spice, that ingredient, or the other. There's labeling involved when these products hit the stores. Is that a consideration before the recipes and before some of the wellness and health initiatives go into play?
Well, so we start the labeling as a product is developed. We take a look at the ingredients and the nutritional profile of the product. And make sure that it aligns with our company goals. Our company is a healthy food company, so we want to make sure that the products that we're putting out there fit that vision. So it does start kind of early on, and making sure that what we're putting out there really fits a healthy food product.
When you're developing recipes and whatnot, do you ever find a conflict of ingredients when it comes to labeling and nutrition regulatory standards, and you have to go back to the drawing board simply because of a labeling issue?
We may tweak something because doesn't quite exactly meet what we had in mind. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, we're pretty good, and we know what we kind of know what we are looking for.
Now, obviously, you fall under the umbrella of the FDA and other regulatory agencies here in the United States, and more than likely worldwide. Do your standards as a company traditionally rise above the standards that are set by these government regulatory agencies? Is that something that happens as par for the course, going above and beyond?
We always want to make sure that, yes, that we're going to meet and exceed what the regulations require of us.
What inspires you as someone who's got all of this responsibility that's above and beyond just a great tasting dish? I
get inspired in many different ways, from just looking at magazines or going out to a restaurant, trying new foods. There are a lot of different things that may kind of get my juices going on what types of recipes I might want to put out for our consumers to try with seafood.
How often do you, I guess, listen to what the public is saying when you're out and about, maybe speaking at conferences or whatever it is, going about the daily, the day-to-day of someone in your position? How much of is your thumb on the pulse of the populace when it comes to coming up with some of these recipes?
You know what, we work closely with a number of different organizations, and I'm looking in the grocery store, looking at the circulars to see what types of foods are trending, looking at talking to consumers. Our company does different focus groups periodically with different groups of consumers to understand what it is that they're looking for. So I think we're pretty in tune to what consumers are asking for, and what's kind of trending and what's coming up for the future.
Do you yourself focus on the readability of some of these labels when we're talking about, chemicals and different, different ingredients? How user friendly do you try to make your labels when they're coming out of StarKist, as opposed to maybe some other companies that just go ahead and put it exactly like they with that 54 letter chemical?
Well, we are regulated by FDA, and FDA has very specific guidelines of how we would need to label something. So if, we look at what ingredients our products have, and label according to FDA guidelines. But with that said, we like to make sure that the products we have ingredients that are understandable for consumers, and try and make it so that they're real ingredients that a consumer would understand, and it makes sense to them that it would be in there.
Do you have initiatives that kind of introduce people to seafood who may not have been, seafood lovers in the past, trying to get the word out about the goodness and the nutritional value that seafood holds?
Yeah, we do some different programs with different groups. We work with the American Heart Association. We work with some local sports teams to provide information to their clients and their consumers about seafood and the health benefits of seafood. We work with different retailers to help them explain to their customers as they're going through the store what our products provide, but more importantly, not just what they provide, but how to use them and how to incorporate them into daily meals and snacks, and just different ways to encourage consumers to get more seafood into their diet. So I would say probably the majority of our efforts are spent working with retailers to help them teach their customers how to use shelf-stable seafood.
Do you have maybe one delicious, heart-healthy snack that you could recommend to us based on StarKist products? One, what I love to do, and a lot of us do this in the office, is we take a pouch of one of our flavored tunas, and we'll either put it over a little salad or put it in a piece of lettuce and wrap it up for a quick and easy snack that's healthy. Dip it into, get some carrot sticks and dip it, or some pita chips. So taking down some of those risk factors of heart disease go down quite substantially when we introduce a bit of seafood into our diet, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Well, where can our listeners go and get more information about StarKist and some of these healthy initiatives?
You can go to our website, www.starkist.com.
Great. Well, I'm hoping you'll come back and speak with us again in the future.
I will. I'd love to. Thank you.
Thank you. You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neal Howard, in studio with Laura Alley. Transcripts and audio of this program are available at healthprofessionalradio.com.au and also at hpr.fm. And you can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes.